This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here with Baptiste Koch, who is joining us all the way from Blanville, down in the Pézenas area, down in Languedoc. How are you today, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Really good to see you in Toronto again. I think it's been 2 years since we last spoke.
Yeah.
We've just been having a little chat about your newly released wines and the kind of cuisine that would go along with them, the kind of things that your mother used to cook.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go through the wines, the four that you have today. We're going to start with the Vermentino.
Yeah, so the first one is the Blanville Vermentino 2018.
Yes.
So this is a dry, crisp white wine planted in the Pays d'Oc, but close to the Picpoul area. So it has some...
I never realized it was that close to Picpoul. Interesting.
Yeah, we are in the town of Saint-Pargois, which is like not even 5 kilometers away from Montagnac, which starts the Étang de Thau area with the Picpoul wine. So it has some similarity to it, some saltiness as a white wine.
Yeah,
and
I thought it was there was a lovely fruit character, a very kind of purity, like a kind of wonderful pure fruit character coming through on that I really enjoyed. Now, what kind of traditionally, or at least in your mind, going back to your mother's cooking, what would you enjoy with that kind of Vermentino?
With that type of Vermentino, very fresh and dry, I like to pair it with some any fish dish, but to be more specific, I like it with a fish soup, which is very traditional in the town of Sète.
Yes.
So when you make this type of soup of different local fishes, you can really have like some kind of very, I would call it a rich soup with some like local fishes, some even spice or like specific spices from the area that remind you of the garrigues and are a very good pairing with some dry white wine, because that wine won't cover it. It's really a digest one, very fresh. So I would definitely have it with some soup de poisson, as we call it.
Sounds good. It's been a while since I've had that, actually. So moving on to the next wine, one that I found absolutely fascinating. This is the Chardonnay Roussanne. And it was interesting. You were telling me it's only, in this particular vintage, you are only using 10% Roussanne because the Roussanne does tend to dominate the blend when it comes to flavor and also texture as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Chardonnay is unoaked, and the Roussanne is actually made and fermented and aged a little bit in French oak barrels.
Yes.
So it's kind of in between. So the Chardonnay is very clean, dry. The Roussanne is the value of the wine to me. It's really improve and give some body to it. In terms of fruit pairing, I like this wine at summertime, so more of a summer dish. So the ratatouille.
Yes, yeah.
Is like local vegetables, so tomatoes, zucchinis, eggplants, all cooked together, and very enjoyable with just a touch of parmesan off top. So parmesan with the local ratatouille, it's a really good pairing with this.
I think you've actually, my mouth was watering as you were describing that earlier, and I think I know what I'm cooking for my family this evening. Okay.
So, local ratatouille with the Chardonnay Roussanne, that's my pairing.
Fantastic. Now we're going to move into your reds.
Yeah, the red.
A little bit of an anomaly for Languedoc, although I've tasted a few now. This is the Pinot Noir.
Yeah, so the Pinot Noir, it's definitely a light grade, even in the Languedoc, even in a warmer climate. So I would definitely pair that one with a very, what I call a simple dish, but really enjoyable in the summertime also, because the Pinot Noir can be consumed a bit chilled.
Yeah, so I always like it that way.
It's one of these wines that you can have it like at the regular temperature for the red wine, but also a bit chiller, like in the cooler even. You put it on the table like doing kind of a barbecue. And I like it with like French sausage with a bit of rosemary and sea salt on top.
So that's like a pork sausage, I would imagine, for the most part. Yes, yeah.
And cooked on the plancha.
Yep.
With a bit of rosemary and sea salt on top. Something very simple, and you can have like your local, the French mustard on the side with this very light and enjoyable Pinot Noir.
And it's quite a fatty sausage usually, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think the acidity in that really works with that.
The fat,
And that's actually a higher altitude site you use for the Pinot Noir.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
And finally, we go on to the
Horus.
Yeah, which is a blend.
Yeah, the Horus is. I like it to describe it as a GSC. So people are very common with the GSM for the Rhone blend. This is a GSC. It's
Senso as opposed to Carignan, right? Okay.
Grenache, Syrah, and a touch of Senso.
Yeah.
So this is the end of the vintage 2014. So we are very lucky to have it, and I would definitely have this one with more of local meat.
Okay, and by local meat, what would you mean exactly?
We have several different type of animals in the south of France. I enjoy that one actually with some stew, boar stew, because
so wild boar.
Yeah, wild boar.
When you say local meat, you mean wild animals?
Yeah, wild animals.
Right. Okay.
Wild animals. So boar stew is something that is like cooked for a long time.
It's something that you would have in the autumn, in the fall.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely. Kind of right about later.
Coming up. Yeah, a little bit later. Yeah.
So it's a long process in terms of the cooking part.
Yes. Yeah.
But thanks to that, it makes the meat really softer.
Yes.
And
more tender. Yeah.
Tender. Yeah, with like the very enjoyable sauce. And this is a very elegant red blend, which is slightly aged. So I would definitely think that the boar stew would be a good pairing for the Horus.
Super. Now, do you have any problems with boars in your particular vineyards? Because
in France, in the south of France, many winemakers and vineyards have issue with the boar eating the grapes.
Right. I've heard that from Kamel and Joseph outside Carcassonne. They told me they had some terrible trouble with that.
Some year they are just like really. They enjoy to eat the grapes just prior to the harvest.
Yes.
We don't have many of them because we are located in our most vineyards are planted in the Côte de Montpellier, which is kind of a bit higher altitude, very poor soil.
Yeah, it's quite rocky, isn't it?
Really rocky, and in the middle of kind of really so much heat, and the garrigue is there, but I would guess that the animals are more comfortable on the lower sides.
I see. Yeah, that makes more sense, like in the valleys and things. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm getting incredibly hungry going through all of these dishes. I didn't get to Languedoc this year, but perhaps next year. It'd be good to meet and taste with you over there next year. Thank you so much for joining us at Good Food Revolution today.
Thank you.
And making us feel so hungry. Bye for now.
Thank you. See you soon.